watching Stripped Down, Saskatchewan's 1-hour local music showcase, the show that brings the venue to you in the comfort of your own living room. I'm your host, Curtis Anderson, and I want to say a huge hello to all the viewers watching on Shaw TV as well as Access Communication. That's right, just a reminder, this show does go Saskatchewan-wide. It all got going back when Shaw was all over Juno Fest, and the Junos actually ran into Leah Miller at the airport back when we were staking out the airport and talking to all the celebrities and artists that got off the plane, and had a chance to talk with Miss Miller while she was getting her luggage. And she was very excited to be here. She had no role outside of coming and experiencing Saskatoon because she had heard about the vibrant musical community here in Saskatoon with the local bands and everything. And I just kind of said to myself, wow, if Leah Miller, who works for Much Music, is excited to come to Saskatoon because she's heard good things about the local, the scene here. I thought, here at Shaw, we're probably not doing enough to promote that. Now it's kind of the genesis of Stripped Down.
Well, I thought it was an incredible idea, and I begged, could I be on it? Could I be a part of it? That's about as easy as it was. And then right away, it was sucked into the maelstrom, the vortex of early production.
The name Stripped Down kind of came just because when we were trying to line up the initial bands, we were saying, well, it's an acoustic show. It's pretty hard to rock out in these Shaw studios. So we're trying to make it as acoustic as possible. So we're like, just do like a stripped down version of a regular set, make it a stripped down set. And then we kind of stuck and we liked it. And it was kind of, people were curious about it. You see it on the guy and there's, Channel 10 Stripped Down. That'll make you stop and check out what it is.
Look at my baby boy, oh my pride and joy. And every time he smiles, makes it all worthwhile, yeah. My life is good.
Well, it took me a good 6 months after Junos came and went to actually kind of get the ball rolling and sit down and, cleared my schedule enough to take on a major project like this. But I kind of put some feelers out with the local bands and they thought it was an amazing idea. People around the shop thought it was an amazing idea. And then it was just a question of, okay, we need a set, we need volunteers, we need a time slot, we need to line up bands. And that began probably the longest 4 months of my life trying to get the show up and running. But I do remember when we got the green light. It was about 5 days before Christmas when my proposal actually was accepted, and that happened to be the same day I was following 5 or 6 local musicians around as they went caroling from school to mall to school to mall, raising money for UNICEF, and I pitched it to them, and they all thought it was a great idea, and I think almost all of them from that initial 5 or 6 have been on the show so far.
Well, setup was interesting because first of all, we had what we had and that was it. It was hard to get more. And things like the lighting, for instance, had to learn just how to use the grid here in a way it's never been used before. We have a lot of lights, but I don't think they've ever all been used. And plus, we have other shows here at Shaw too, so do it in such a way that it would only take about an hour or two to switch from one to the other, so it wouldn't take a whole day to get what we wanted. We had a color scheme to go with right away. We knew it was going to be red, black, and silver, so that sort of limited and sort of made our options come out. I mean, well, we've got black leather couches, perfect. There we go. Turns out they maybe weren't so good because of the musicians and the softness and whatever, but then we found some red stools. It was, we were limited by our color choices, but on the other hand, that automatically made clear exactly what we needed when we saw it.
Technically, I just went straight to Jay Neufeld, who's like the MacGyver of sets. And we did some cool things. We talked about some things. I had some ideas that, of course, they're out there, but here's what I want, Jay, and then I go have a coffee, and by the time I've come back, he's completely redone the studio and made it happen, and for that, I'll forever love Jay Neufeld, because things like the rooftop camera that shoots on the logo, gives you kind of the curling house shot, that wouldn't have been possible without Jay Neufeld.
And so that's the song I'm going to do for you.
Take her away.
It's called You Got a Hold on Me.
You got a hold on night. Yeah, it's a long way up to the top to see that you're by yourself, which means you're alone with me. Gives me a feeling so right. You got a hold on me all night. Yeah, feeling so right. You got a hold on me all night.
Another thing we found out eventually during the process was that all musicians were black. I didn't know this, but apparently it is. And literally 5 times in a row, we had someone who would wear a black shirt. And we got a black curtain in the background, and so it ends up being a floating head with 2 hands and a guitar. And we're like, okay, what do we do? We did this, these stairs, this ladder here. That sort of worked, but then suddenly we started off with just 1 or 2 guests. Sometimes we had a lot of guests, which means you got to show a lot of the set. What are we going to do? Well, we honestly, to start off, we just found more ladders. So we looked around the building and we tried to find ladders because they're silver, right? They're silver, and that kind of fits with the color scheme. And I think finally, just during the end, we figured out, we bought, on the internet, we bought some of these old fence panels that finally solved our problem of getting rid of the black, or at least having some sort of definition between where the black ended and where the curtain started. The fishbowl. I don't know if you've seen this in some of the shots, but this is an awesome little fishbowl where when it's full of water, the fish can go all around the top there. And yeah, we actually had a fish. Its name was Serenity.
Oh, Serenity!
And we thought, oh, this is great. We'll hang this little thing in the background.
Originally, we had, I had another great idea that was going to cost a little more than I anticipated. I was going to have a giant fish tank behind us with a bunch of fish. That's expensive, let me tell you. That's expensive and tough to clean. So that slowly got scaled down to a hanging bowl.
Television studios are very cold.
Well, our studio gets a little cold at night.
They do that because the lights heat up. And unfortunately, Serenity didn't make it through the first 5 episodes or so. And maybe he's still in there.
It lived long enough for us to get a few shots of it, and we still use it in the intro. And every once in a while, if there's a really, really bad shot, I'll use it for cover.
I think once or twice we actually cheated, and we used tape shots of the fish before and just sort of cut them in.
So all of a sudden, the Riz will be playing, fish tank behind him, and then all of a sudden there'll be a close-up of the fish tank, and there'll be a fish in there. Continuity error alert. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on Stripped Down, Ash Jones.
Contemplate the days that waste away sitting here. I'm just counting sheep as my faith degenerates into TV dreams. Crashing cars and heal the scars of wounds that used to bleed on who we are. Make amends to all my fallen friendships near and far. Then I'd break you like the porcelain doll you are. Then I'd piece you together just like a million times before. But if I waited too long for you, and I would shatter like ice when hit by a hammer. The connections come unglued, and nothing seems the same. Except it feels like rain, and I'm not dressed for the weather.
Keep your clothes on, 'cause more stripped down right after this. Does that work?
Providing a wide range of instruments under one roof, Mother's Music has been operating out of Saskatoon for 17 years. With music lessons, instrument rentals, and in-store financing, Mother's Music will fill your local music needs.
Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Euromoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them. Tune in to Remote Control Cinema every Wednesday and Friday as host Simon Hyatt reviews the newest movies to hit Shaw on demand, plus classics you may have missed the first time. Remote Control Cinema, only on Shaw.
Ralco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
We're back. You're watching Stripped Down. Teresa Sokerka in the Shaw TV studios tonight. No. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Teresa Sokerka. Setting up the show was an insane amount of work. I remember back when I first started volunteering at Shaw, I was working on a show called Cinema 10, and I was blown away by just how much fun the crew was having and just the energy in the room. And that's really what I wanted to bring to this show too, because I don't think there's been a show since Cinema 10 that had kind of that team atmosphere, and I really wanted to bring that in. So the biggest concern was getting the right volunteers. Shaw obviously has a really deep and talented pool of volunteers, but I wanted to give the show a really fresh kind of feel to it. I wanted to bring in all new people, and that was the biggest worry. I looked around Saskatoon, tried to find people that would be suited to come and help out on the show. And I was lucky enough to run into a gentleman who taught a high school media class. It was more documentary style and everything, but he expressed to me that these kids would be really good, they'd be really into it, and instead of giving me their phone numbers, he had me send him an email, really professional, saying this is a brand new show, if you want to be part of it, come and apply. And I was skeptical, because it's like, hey, come help on this show for free. And within 48 hours, I probably had 20 resumes. These kids were dropping off professional demo reels on DVD, doing some pretty high-end stuff. So I'm watching these DVDs, okay, they're spoofing CSI, they're doing these mini docs, a lot of music videos, and I thought, well, there's the crew right there.
Well, it's the same with basically everyone on the crew. We were in this program at Evan Hardy called Media School. It's for a whole semester, and basically the whole course is based around filmmaking and learning how to make films and stuff. And Curtis contacted Ron Burnson, who's the teacher of that, and he said he needs some volunteers for the show. And some of us came and dropped off resumes, and here we are. So
our teacher, Ron Burnson, he had told us that somebody at Shaw Television was looking for a crew for a television show, which I was pretty pumped on. So
He told us about an email he had got from someone named Curtis Anderson from Shaw. And so he printed the email off, and we both looked at it, and I live in the area, so it was really easy for me to come over here and just drop off my demo reel and my resume. And
I originally wasn't even gonna hand in an application, but I was like, oh, well, whatever, you know, might be a good experience. So I brought in a resume, and crazy Curtis was here, and he was all stressed out, and he's like, oh my God, I'm Curtis, and everybody's like, who is this crazy man?
yeah, I was a little bit nervous because, you know, this person who does TV show stuff, I was like, a little intimidated.
I heard of a lot of people going in, but it was pretty much a rumor in the classroom. It was like, oh, they already got the job, everybody already got the job. So I was like, well, I might as well hand in a demo reel and a resume.
And then you're like, yeah, so you're on the crew. And I was just like, what? I was so excited. It was so cool.
Curtis came to the door, and he just came running. He's like, hi, I'm Curtis Anderson. I'm going to be doing Stripped Down. He was pretty pumped. That's probably what sticks in my head the most, because I gave him a handshake, and now it's just like, hey, Curtis. It's all chill now.
The passion and the energy they bring in every week is exactly what I needed. You know, without that, it's just Jay and I in a set. But they're the ones that, you know, they're the heart of the show. They come in every week with new ideas, trying new stuff, and if it doesn't work, they perfect it till it does. And I can't express gratitude enough to the group of 9 or 10 kids that come in here every week, give their time, and just really mold the show into what it has become. There he is. There's our beloved audio guy, Ian Cameron. He's watching you. He's watching you. I love it.
So I emailed the two of them to see what was going on. And they said, nothing's really going on, but I think this guy named Curtis Anderson might be doing something or other. I don't know. I'll give you his email.
And of course, Colton Wall, the man of 1,000 holds, our fearless, reckless audio guy here, was instrumental in getting you on the show. What's the relationship here?
I guess when I first moved to town, I met Colton. He was doing sound at Amigos at the time, and I saw him at shows, and we got to know each other via that. Similar tastes in music, and lots of similar friends, it turns out, in the end, too. Yeah.
He did some training, too, right, Colton?
Yes.
What did he teach you?
He has given me guitar lessons.
Yeah.
So that's a few of them, anyway.
I think 2, 2 or 3, yeah.
I think 3.
Yeah.
From Curtis. We are friends outside of Stripped Down, and he came to me with the opportunity.
Colton Wall is actually one of my best friends outside of Stripped Down, and the thing I love about Colton is he's pretty much my polar opposite. You ask me a yes or no question, and I'll probably talk for 5 minutes just for no other reason than I really like the sound of my own voice. But Colton Wall, you ask him a question, he'll take a couple seconds to really let it digest, and then he'll give you a good answer, but it'll just be 3 or 4 words maybe. He's really precise and to the point. So I love when we put a mic on Colton and pitch it to him while he's doing audio, because it's just such a drastic change in dynamics. The man of 1,000 holds, Colton Wall, beside me, and 100 apologies to Colton Wall. He's giving me, scolding me during the break. I asked him a question and then apparently cut him off. So Colton, classify Schuyler. What is he?
I was gonna say he's a songwriter and a musician. He knows no boundaries.
That's a good answer. Well done. Tonight, we feature our first full band. Ladies and gentlemen, Doll Talkin' Ransom.
With the rebel, yeah.
Yeah, Doll Talkin' Ransom kind of brought the show to a new level that no one expected it to be.
They were absolutely ridiculous. There's really nothing else to say about them.
The girl from Doll Talk, when she went horribly off the script and wonderfully off the script.
Again, they were one of the first 3 or 4, I think they were number 5 bands that came in, so there was a lot of downtime for them. I think they sat on the couches probably over an hour before we finally had them properly mic'd and started rolling. So they were already a little restless.
It was interesting. It kind of shook the way things we did around here, kind of thing. Everything was kind of kept on the couch and pretty boxed in, so to speak, and they took it outside the box.
They started busting out a bunch of covers.
She said, come on, baby, you got a license for love.
And up until that point, we had never really dealt with it. Kind of been in the back of our minds, yeah, we should probably check to see if we're allowed to do cover songs. We weren't.
In the midnight hour, she cried more.
Already delayed over an hour, so we just kind of let them go and thought, well, we'll deal with this later. At one point in the show, Heather, the lead singer, not an ugly girl, got up and started dancing, okay? That's all good. Then she starts crawling up the set, and then she proceeds to start moaning.
I was handheld for that episode, and I got to follow the girl up onto the ladders. And
Oh. And then this crazy girl is just getting up and she's walking all over the place and yelling and moaning, and everybody's like, what are these people doing?
All I heard was there was a lot of like panting and moaning on the stairs. Not a good one, I hear.
I don't know, it was a blur of a lot of moaning and red hair.
I guess you got really into the music.
Who knows?
Started making rather inappropriate noises.
I'm sitting back going, okay, won't be able to use this, gonna have to cover this. No, that is never gonna go to air.
Till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah.
If you watch the tape, I've aged probably 10 years. I've lost all control of this show.
And then his friend comes up, and before I know it,
I feel kind of dirty actually just sitting on these stairs.
That band is too much for it stripped down to handle.
No, sit down and play your instruments and be normal.
That was just a no-go. So maybe they'll come back one day and it'll be more G-rated, but who knows?
It was something, and it turns out we couldn't air that episode for various legal reasons.
And when it was all said and done, it was actually the large amount of cover songs that killed the episode ever from airing. So they waited an extra hour before we started taping. I edited the thing, edited out, a lot of the moaning and whatnot. And when it was all said and done, the covers were the thing that killed the episode. It never went to air.
When men begin to stray from God, pretend they're no longer flawed. Downward strikes the lightning rod. Downward strikes the lightning rod. When blood money starts to change in hands, greed corrupts the natural plan. Floods will ravage the barren land. Floods will ravage the barren land.
The best part of the show is when we get going, because Wednesdays are the longest days of my life. I wake up in the morning and I think strip down all the way till we start taping at 7 o'clock that night, sometimes 7:30, sometimes 8, sometimes 8:30. Depends on who you have that week, because there's so much stuff. It's kind of like a wedding, having a wedding every week. You can only pre-plan so much until that moment. The band comes in and all of a sudden, oh, they've brought something else. They have a keyboard. Now we have to readjust where we're going to put them all and figure out where the camera angles are going to be, and sometimes that takes a lot longer than I'd like, but it's necessary. So once we finally get through the intro and start rolling, that's the best part.
I really like the music, like listening to it. Like, you don't hear a lot when you're filming because you got the headphones on and Jay's talking to you and telling you what to do, but I don't know, after a while you kind of just zone it out and you already know what you're doing, so you get to listen to the music. It's good because we have like a lot of variety on here.
Like learning how to do like the jib and the stationary cameras and everything, that was really cool.
The best part is being exposed to so much like local music and in the province, and just seeing that there really are some great musicians here that even I haven't heard of.
Learning, I guess. Learning how TV works.
I'm really into music, like I'm really into the music scene, so just like dealing with musicians and stuff like that, and learning to work with all this cool equipment.
The fact that something always screws up.
Yeah, and that happens a lot in Strip Down.
It wouldn't be Stripped Down without something breaking, going wrong, or something spontaneous happens, or we have to improvise in some way. I think that's what keeps drawing me back to the show. It's just not just for the screw ups, but also for the talent as well. It also depends on how the artist of the week deals with it.
I think my favorite part of the show is when it's over and we're all like, holy cow, we did it. We did another hour, we made it through. But as far as actually doing the show, one of my favorites was solving the problems, because every now and then we'd be, okay, you never know what a musician's gonna bring. We tell them it's Stripped Down, but every now and then people will bring in like a full-size piano or something, and we go, okay, what do we do with this? Or a stand-up bass, and yeah, I'm gonna have to stand over here. What do we do with that? I remember when Earl from Mo Badass came on, he said, do you have something that I could like drop my foot on that I could sort of kick? And we're like, I don't know. And so I was like running around trying to find something, anything that could be found. And he's like, no, that doesn't sound right. And like, okay, well, maybe we can pad it with enough video cassettes underneath and a book. And we just sort of, in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, we sort of invented something he could stomp on, which sounded right to him. And I kind of like that sort of frenzy of musical creativity that can happen. I kind of like that.
Oh, lie. What you hear is what you fear, don't patronize. We can talk, so please don't walk away and cry. I know the promise that I made had kept you blind. I'm still the one who vowed to be right by your side. Oh, you live and you lie, taking your time, living your life away. You live and you lie and you're taking your time, living your life away. I hear you crying. It wasn't supposed to be this way, and I won't stop fighting. I need you to know that I'm here to stay. No more lying. Forget about all our old mistakes, and let's keep trying. We can start over, 'cause it's a new day.
More stripped down after this. Wow, that was a big echo.
Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Euromoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them.
Introducing Wing Street in 7 flavors, from honey barbecue to spicy barbecue to heat seeker, delivered to your door by Pizza Hut. Wing Street, you've been warned.
For 10 years, SIGA has been strengthening the lives of Saskatchewan and First Nations people through employment, economic growth, and community relations. With 5 casinos in the province, SIGA offers a Saskatchewan First Nations gaming experience.
Ralco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
We're back. You're watching Stripped Down. Can we get a shot of that? Can we get a shot of this masterpiece? Tessa Hins' birthday here.
Yeah, that's my cake.
That is a stripped down cake, and that is a beauty. Huge thanks to Linda from Safeway at the Circle Center. She didn't actually do the design. I'm totally taking credit for that. She made a special black and red bordered cake. That design, that was all me. That was freehand, Tessa. We wanted to do something special for you. On behalf of Jay and I, who put this show together each and every week, thank you so much for being one of the most hardcore volunteers we have.
This is called When Isometrics Collide.
Okay.
You can just imagine what that's about. Ready? 1, 2. Oh wait, I start.
Just remember when I pull apart, there's 2 full sails catching the wind knocked out of me. It's not prime, barely rational. It seems your thought making has split away. I remember the woo of your arms outstretched, engulfing my horizon and my left arm softly. I remember the woo of your keeping records of the past 5 minutes. We'll never forget if we die. Pulled together, it's just modern science. science. The fact that we're attracted is proof we're just trying. I remember the last time we tried 1 year ago and I died.
Working with Curtis and Jay.
Oh, don't get me started.
It's a lot of fun, actually, working with Curtis and Jay. There's a lot of leniency in creative control. Like they're not hard set on a specific idea, and they're really open to suggestions.
They're fun, and they make it easy, and they tell you, like, they help you out with anything, and they're amazing bosses, amazingly talented, know exactly what they want, and
I could not ask for better people to work with. Like, coming into this environment, it's really intimidating, you know, you're around all this big equipment, all these people who know what they're doing, and you don't have a clue. And they've just been super welcoming and nice and really great to work with and really supportive. And, you know, even if someone's not doing the best job, they're always like, you know, that's okay, we'll do better next time. And they're just really encouraging and really great to work with.
I really like working with Curtis and Jay. I think that they have a lot of experience, and I think it's a great thing that they've let us, like teenagers, come and help them out with this show, because it helps us get experience, and I think it gives them a fresh take on things. I think they're really good guys.
They're really different, two different guys that you probably won't meet anywhere else. Like, these guys are unique.
They're a lot of fun, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought, honestly, when I was coming into this, I thought they would be a lot older, but it's good to see that they're, I don't know how old they are, but I'll just say they're younger guys. And they have knowledge on local music and lots of stuff. They're a lot of fun. I really like them.
If I have a suggestion, they're just like, you know what, go for it and work with it. And
They know what they're doing, and they want to teach us everything so we can know how to do things. And I think they're just really good guys, and I enjoy working with them every week. And yeah, hopefully we get to work more together longer.
Working with Curtis and Jay is a lot of fun. Curtis is a little neurotic from time to time. He runs around, and it's almost amazing that he manages to bring the show together.
it's been an amazing experience working with them. They're easily the best bosses I've ever had. They're fun and funny, and they make the show worth it. So.
Working with Curtis and Jay, well, Jay's awesome and horrible at the same time in equal measures, but he turns on a dime. It's like, wow, you're laughing, and then like, what?
Curtis is a really nice guy. He's really sarcastic. He tells great stories. He's got great stories all the time. It's almost like he's one of those TV personalities all the time, because he just says the quirkiest, stupidest puns that just work, and you're just like, oh man, if that was on television, that'd be so funny. And it is on television.
Working with Curtis and Jay is quite a lot of fun. They create a pretty laid-back environment, so make it pretty easy for all of us to enjoy. And yeah, it's fun every week.
It's definitely a really stress-free environment to work in, and that's really nice.
The hardest part about working with Jay is not taking him for granted. He works well under pressure, and there's always these situations where it's like, okay, Jay, we have 5 minutes. We need to do this. And he'll run, and he'll jump, and he'll bring in stuff from his car, and he'll make it happen in 5 minutes. No questions asked. But then you kind of start to expect that. and so yeah, it's really hard when it's like, hey Jay, you have 3 minutes, go. And then I sit down and drink coffee, and it's like, you know. But again, that's a reflection on Jay's talent and ability to work under pressure. But that is the most difficult thing about working with Jay Neufeld.
And Curtis is very, there's no stopping him. When he gets an idea, he goes for it, and he commits to it. And if it starts to get kind of weird, like, I don't know, like an electro costume, whatever, he will go for it, and he will make it work. And that's pretty awesome. That's a fun train to be hitched to. So,
are we still on the air? Okay, here it is. The one. This is the song. This is the showcase song from the Ultimate Power Duo. What do you guys have?
Ultimate Power Duo on a Rampage with Elephant Gun.
Let's do it.
Part 1.
I can't let you go. People don't know, people don't know, people don't know what they want. People don't know, people don't know, people don't know what they want. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
That right there is a stripped down moment.
Right beside me here, Jennifer Juba. There we go. Everybody give a round of applause. The first co-host ever on
It was
Stripped.
nerve-wracking. It was a little scary, a little intimidating, but it was a good experience. It was really weird and sweet. I liked it.
Caroline, stay strong, girl. Caroline, stay strong, girl. Caroline, don't say no. Caroline, stay strong, girl. But sure you can see we've been so perfectly. No reason to just believe. Just wear your heart on the sleeve.
Stick around. We got more Stripped Down right after this.
Voted Best Clothing Store for 2006-2007, Ultimo Yuramoda features high-speed fashion such as Belle Staff and J. Lindenberg. Ultimo doesn't follow the trends, they introduce them.
Providing a wide range of instruments under one roof, Mother's Music has been operating out of Saskatoon for 17 years. With music lessons, instrument rentals, and in-store financing, Mother's Music will fill your local music needs. Ralco Radio in Saskatoon. C95, Rock 102, and News Talk 650 are proud supporters of Saskatoon's local music scene, including Shaw's Stripped Down.
Affinity Credit Union is a proud sponsor of community programming. Affinity Credit Union. Our difference is personal.
Anyway, the best part of Stripped Down for me is the positive feedback I get from the artists and the community. And it's one thing when someone comes up to me on the street and tells me they're a big fan of Stripped Down, but it's something else altogether when someone comes up to me on the street, tells me they're a big fan of Stripped Down, and it's Teresa Sokerka. Ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Sokerka.
You travel more than me, and I've seen so many things I've seen and so much more. I realize I never really knew about you anymore. And you're waiting by the door.
Okay, next season, we're going to do like 35 episodes. That's the goal. We're going to just do one every week except for Christmas. This season, since we got going late, we're only doing 16 episodes. This is episode 16. So for the longest time, I've been calling this season 0.5 or 0.05, and everyone's been scratching their heads at me like I was crazy. But I think that's because I was calling it season 0.05, and Catherine, one of our volunteers, was like, that's not half, man. That's a fraction or something. So I felt really stupid after she told me that. So what do we want to call this, everybody? Is this officially season 1? Season 1, Bryn?
I'd say 0.5 actually.
Thank you!
She's feeling the 0.5.
Bryn has my back.
Half the season,
So you and I are smart and everyone else can't figure it out, Bryn? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, there it is. This right here is the final episode of season 0.5. Top 3 moments of season 0.5.
Top 3?
Me running in really, really late on the Teresa Sakirka episode and yelling, "Oh, is that a J200?" And then we had a bit of guitar talk afterwards.
I think the one episode that really got me was Dumb Angel, and I was doing like floor directing for that one, and there was a time when I wasn't really like paying attention to what was happening, and they finished playing, and I just went like this about to clap, and then I realized that like we're doing a live show, so I couldn't.
I really enjoyed this last episode, Stephen McGuire. I thought he was really good, and I liked his accent.
Schuyler, I'm sure, because he's a friend of mine, and I got to be on camera and all, so it was interesting.
And I also liked having Earl Pereira from Mo Badass because he gave me some bass pointers on how to play the bass and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Doll Talk and Ransom was pretty fun too, but I guess nobody saw that.
The doll, no, never mind, not the doll talking ransom incident, the mustaches. There's one week when Dan had a mustache attempt going on and Colton had one, and then Tyson drew one on with a marker. It was just mustaches everywhere.
Performance-wise, I really like Arms Up because like we had like so much to keep in frame.
I'm gonna have to say, again, referencing back to Underneath the Fray, she sang one song, it was her second or third song in, and it was about being absolutely devastated by the sudden ending of a relationship. And we get a lot of young kids in, I call them young, when you're 18 to 25, that's kind of what you do. You fail at relationships. That's what you're supposed to do in that 7-8 years. But Lois from Underneath the Fray is a little older, she's probably in her 30s, and to hear someone in their 30s sing a song so crushing like that, it was really tough. It was the first real moment I ever had on Stripped Down where she kind of disappeared. She went into her little zone and sang the song, and it was heartbreaking. It was tough to come out of after that.
Incredibly not needed was how I felt as I watched you drive away. The fact that you never meant to hurt me so bad is of really no consequence now. And the kiss that you blew me over your shoulder still hangs in the freezing air. And I really can't tell you quite what it was, but a part of me died right there. And I need you like water, and I want you like a chocolate-covered candies. I love you like nothing else in the world. Suppose my significance faded away with those words you had to say. I kept it together, kinda laughed with a fake smile and put up my hand and waved. Then the tears fell constantly. I pictured what used to be with my mouth parched and dry. Every song on the radio I tried to listen to reminds me of you and I. And I need you like air, and I want you like homemade bread and honey. I love you like nothing else in the world, and I need you like touching, and I want you like holding, and I love you like nothing else in the world.
I'm going to say Ultimate Power Duo. That was quite a bit of fun.
UPD, yeah. UPD was a good show. That was a fun show.
Well, I really liked when we got to do the episode with the Ultimate Power Duo, just because that was the comic one, right? So I got to dress up as a Ninja Turtle and everything. That was really cool, and they had a lot of energy, and that guy brought all those old toys and stuff. That was fun.
The obvious one is to go with the Ultimate Power Duo episode because it was chaos. They were loud, they broke things, everyone was wearing costumes, there was Rock'em Sock'em robots on set. I mean, it was chaotic.
Josh Palmer and the Rebellions. He pretty much blew away any misconceptions I had about what a show can be, what a live show can be, whether it's either on stage or just in a room, basically, or just a little studio. He kind of blew everything away. It was amazing.
Well, I think by far it'd be The Rebellion, which we actually just filmed. That was our smoothest episode, and there's a great band.
And the elusive Josh Palmer.
Probably today's episode with Josh Palmer and the Rebellion. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, really high energy. Really enjoyed it.
But then there's the Josh Palmer episode, which was technically brilliant. There's also, I think that's probably where the music shone the best. There's just all many for different reasons.
Couldn't have worked out better, the episode we finally had Josh Palmer on. We had to do it on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday, which is tough because a lot of the kids work. So all of a sudden I was down a cameraman. Simon Hyatt stayed and brought just this blistering handheld that just made the episode. I mean, it was pretty much a one-camera shoot. It was all Simon handheld for an hour, and it was probably the most visually incredible episode we did. But again, that rock and roll handheld doesn't usually work with a person on the couch playing an acoustic guitar, but it was just one of those things where the planets aligned perfectly, and that episode is so visually awesome.
Jen Lane, I thought she was the most talented guest we've had so far.
I think Jen Lane had the strongest song ever on Stripped Down. It had no title. It's going to be on her next album. But I just remember listening to it going, this is it. This is exactly what I wanted when I created Stripped Down in my mind.
Tired of moving so slow, tired of being lost in my mind. I don't know what I might find. Tired of being low, tired of being low. Don't wanna look too hard today. Don't wanna need to have to say anything at all, baby doll. I'll come when you call, I'll come when you call. What I'm trying to say is I can't get out of my brain, and now without you, waking up without you. And I'll be back on my feet again if you just stay and hold my hand. Come on, I'll be your man. You know I'll be your man.
Volcanoless in Canada.
Volcanoless in the Bloodlines.
We Were Lovers.
I'd like to see Maybe Smith. I'd like to see Maybe Smith on it. I'd like to see Mitch Greer. Man, they put me on the spot for this one.
There's a few bands, mostly bands my friends are in.
Ooh, guess I want to see. Well, I'm going to say Volcanoless in Canada because that's what everybody said, and we've been saving them for a really, really big show.
We Were Lovers.
Golden Smoke, Junior Panthers.
I have a friend from Alberta. He lives just outside of Calgary, and he does a lot of, it's just him, and he does stuff on his guitar, and he's really talented, and I'd really like to bring him in, and he's a really nice guy, and I think he'd be a cool contribution to our show. It's really different music, like really ambient, so I think he'd make a good contribution for sure.
Really like Johnny Grit. Want to have them on the show. That's also in the works.
I'd like to see the Oral Fuentes reggae band. I'd like to see all 11 of them. That'd be something. I enjoy the challenge.
Well, Volcanoless in Canada.
Probably the rest of Mo Badass. I really liked the solo.
And of course, NLX, Natasha Alexandra. Put her on the intro, even though she's never been on the show. Yeah, she's just got a really cool sound. I'm a big fan of piano. I think she'd do really well on the show.
I'd like to see Carbon Dating Service. Wouldn't that be something?
Megan Lane.
I think it'd be kind of cool if we could have Jordan Cook come.
Ooh, I think Jiminy would be cool.
Pirate Fridays.
Pirate Fridays, the band I play in. Okay.
Here it is, Jay Sempko and Kim Fontaine.
Well, she works so hard, and at the end of the day, it's a little something extra to take it all away. See, love can conquer all, and man, I wish it were true. She's a girl with a problem, and there's nothing I can do, nothing I can do. And you can bang your head against a brick wall. You can like her Humpty Dumpty, but you can't prevent a fall. Well, bang, 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 and there's nobody home. She's a girl with a problem, and she wants to be alone. You can't lie to me. You can't lie to yourself for a while, till those lies turn into something else. I will talk to you, and you will listen to me for a while, then you'll turn your back and away you go.
That's a tough one, hopes for next season, because honestly, I thought where the show is now, it would take us another season to get there. When I first sat down, I said, okay, I want Stripped Down to be Saskatchewan-wide. I want it to have a Saskatchewan feel, not a Saskatoon feel. And in 16 episodes, we managed to strike a deal with Access Communication where the show indeed does go Saskatchewan-wide. And since then, the email has been flooded with bands from all over Saskatchewan wanting to come on the show.
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the new guests that were coming in. If everybody's getting pumped up to be on the show, you know you're doing something right. So
I mean, how far away is a drive from anywhere in Saskatchewan? You're coming to Shaw, you're getting 1 hour, and you're getting a 4-camera shoot. It's like a 1 hour long music video. Who doesn't want to do that? Come on. That's better than playing in a coffee house. Way better.
The appeal of the show is, I think, seeing a musician in their own home. I mean, we always toss around that thing. It's like having a venue in your own home sort of idea. But it really is.
Every week it's can you top this? And I hope we never, ever, ever lose that ambition.
Said the water beats against the rocks. We were standing there dry. Said I love you the best I can. Love you the best I can. I go talking in my sleep, and everything looks so complete. Said I hope that I'm your one and only man. Love you the best I can. Love you the best I can.